Okay. Hi, I'm Venus of Savagely Curvy Connect. I don't know why I leaned forward like that. This is part 2 of our COVID discussion. The first part just started randomly, and Shan told me to record, and I do everything that Shan tells me, so I recorded it. If you believe that, then I have some land to sell you also. So
yes, please don't believe that.
I'll buy it.
So this is part 2 where we're discussing of our COVID discussion. Recently, they came out with the idea that there is a viable vaccine. I think you have to take it in 2 parts. And we're discussing, would you guys take the vaccine? Would you take the vaccine? And go. That's pretty much it.
Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first?
Go ahead. You talking. Go ahead. Go first.
All right. I'm going to go first then. Okay. So I think that I would eventually take the vaccine if the data comes back and it looks good. And by that, I mean, I would be the first person to volunteer to take it, but in a few months, let's say it's being, once it's more widely available and people have been taking it for a few months, if the data looks good, if we're not hearing anything, crazy about it, then I would probably take it because like everyone else, I do want to be able to go out and get out again. So I need more information about the vaccine. What or how long does it protect you for? Is it something you're going to have to take every month? I don't know. There's not enough information. How exactly does it work? How is it? Well, I guess all vaccines work the same. They help you produce antibodies, but how effective is it? So I'll weigh those things, and then in a few months, maybe sometime right around the summer, I probably would take it. So I'm not like some folks who say, "Oh, I absolutely won't take it." I will probably take it if the data looks good. If it looks like it's like not really doing much, yeah.
Okay, so I was talking to someone, and they were talking about the whole herd immunity and blah 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 blah. But my thing is, they said it has to infect about 60% of the population for us to develop some kind of herd immunity. I'm not really sure. I'm not a scientist. So I'm not really versed on this. I'm just going by hearsay of what we were talked about. With that in mind, so my question is, or what I would propose is that why did we quarantine? If we were trying to eradicate this quote unquote so that we would build up our own immunity and have some kind of herd immunity, why did we go to such lengths to quarantine? Because if 60% of the environment has to have it to cause herd immunity, why didn't we just let everybody get it or so-called get it, and to lessen the effectiveness or the harshness of it, and then potentially we'd all be okay per se, and then they would come out with a vaccine and we would be able to choose to take it or not take it. But the way it's presented is going to be like either you're going to take the vaccine, and if someone chooses not to take the vaccine, you're either going to be judged for not taking it, or they're going to make stipulations where you can't do whatever you want to do or follow your life's beliefs because you have not committed to taking it, meaning the vaccine.
Well, okay, so the whole idea about herd immunity, herd immunity is the fact that you said about 60%. Which is, okay, that's one thing, but then you have to take into consideration the lethality of people. So when you do the math, if I remember correctly, that's something like between 1 and 2 million people would have to die because the lethality of COVID, even if it's like 0.1% or whatever the case is, when you do the math at 60% of talking about US population, that's like between 1 and 2 million people, whatever the number is. That's that's a lot of people, so it really doesn't make sense to
die.
And those are people that die. We're not talking about people who have severe reactions to it, people who they're talking about people who lose so much lung capacity and things like COVID brain, where they can't where their cognitive abilities have decreased and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that and the economic effects of 1 to 2 million people dying because of this.
But
so that's a no-go.
Are we experiencing all those effects right now? There's businesses and everything closing.
No. Not really. Not at max.
No. I don't know what the death rate is, but it hasn't been like 1 million people. So I want to answer your first question, which was why did we quarantine? We did that to flatten the curve, to slow down the spread of COVID, so that the healthcare system wouldn't be overwhelmed to the point where people go to the hospital to be treated and they're just sent home to die. That's why we did it, because we saw that happening in other countries. So it wasn't meant to build up any immunity. It wasn't meant to eradicate COVID. It was meant to slow it down enough for the medical community to catch up and stay on top of the situation as much as they possibly could, and maybe buy us a little more time to research and develop medications and vaccines and so forth. So why not just let everyone die? There are countries who did that. At least one that I can think of, I believe it's Denmark.
I didn't say let everyone die, but
or let everyone get it and develop herd immunity. But there is, I think there, I think it's, is it Swiss?
I think it's Sweden,
one of the,
actually.
Sweden. Okay, Sweden. Yes, they did that. So if you want to look at what happened there, you can look at that. But they did that. They didn't quarantine. They let people go about life as usual. They did not close down schools, and the effects on the population were sad, to say the least. So, yeah, Americans don't like their freedoms infringed upon, but if there were not for a quarantine, then a lot more people would have died. So if you're okay with that, you're okay with that. But what if it's half of your family, you know, that gets infected because they weren't forced to not go places? So.
But it's eventually going to come to that anyway. It's like you made the best immune system win.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is you have your statistics from people dying. Then you have your statistics from the vaccines is just test runs. There's no perfected vaccine. You got all these companies trying. So when they deploy it, that's the test run. There's no people volunteer to take the vaccine. So however many people die off this vaccine, that's what, and then they're gonna make it. It's like the same thing with the mask. So many people take it. You don't have your mask. Now here comes the pressure and judgment why you don't have your mask. It's going to be the same thing with the vaccine. So I don't want to take the vaccine for whatever reason. Well, we took it. The population took it. Why you didn't take it? And then
you need to take
still
it.
Not enough people. Then the problem was going to happen is, in order to do this, you have to have the vaccine. You want to fly, take the vaccine. If you want to, if it gets real extreme, if you want to go into the supermarket, you have to have paperwork that you've taken the vaccine. Who knows what is with these vaccines? Because in order to have a vaccine, you have to have certain diseases in the vaccine. It's like fight fire with fire.
Absolutely.
You may not know what you are, you know, how it may develop with something else. These vaccines are multiple stuff in it. So that's where the other problem lies. So you may be good with this, and then the vaccine give you an allergic reaction, and that's your ass. So now you have more of a population going down because of a vaccine. Oh, now you need a vaccine for the vaccine, and you got the disease still running around. So this is going to be, it says what it takes, a year to two for an actual vaccine to be made. So we're not even that far in, and you already got people want to deploy that, and they're going to push for it. So like, this is already, it's wild for that. I in particular don't want to. I'm saying no until they figure it out, but probably my position and job or work, they're probably going to force the issue.
Exactly. That's my point. You're going to be forced to take it regardless of your religious or any kind of beliefs or whatever, and it's not going to matter, because it seems like just like they pushed with the masks and everything else and the 6 feet, they're going to push you to do no matter what.
That's not the mask and the 6 feet to me is not an equivalent comparison to the vaccine, right? Because if I put on the mask,
it's not the mask itself. It's the way. It's the way. How can I put it? The way they made it for society is, if you don't do it, we're gonna apply that pressure. You walk into a store, everybody got their mask. You don't. Why you don't have your mask on?
But I feel like I mean, there's pressure to you. There's
with the vaccine.
I feel like, okay, so there's an airline right now that says if you don't have, I think they're making they would take a vaccine or something. There is one airline already that has indicated this, but I feel like with the mask, you know what? I'm lying to you. You could have an allergic reaction to the mask. I can stay home or I can order or whatever. But if I feel like I have more danger of taking the vaccine and after effects, I forgot what the word is, of the vaccine than a mask. Like I come home, I put the mask on, I take it off, I go on about my business. But the vaccine to me is like, who knows
fat, like with COVID, it impacts fat people more deeply than it does, say, skinny people because of whatever. So I feel like the vaccine, to me, you never know what it might impact Black people or Spanish or people with polka dots or whatever more. But the mask to me is like, I put the mask on and take off. It doesn't, not as big a deal to me. And maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah.
No, it's not the fact of it not being a bigger deal. It's the fact of the emotion.
I'm okay with pressuring people to put the mask on. I don't think you should be pressured to take the vaccine, though. Am I missing? I mean,
but it's still going to be the same universal effect. That mob mentality. You're not doing it. Why you're not doing it? Blah blah blah. And then same thing. Like you want to get on the airline.
I'm okay with the mob mentality.
Same thing with the vaccine.
But you can't be
but your mentality after a while, it's like, okay, if I'm getting closed in, I can't move around. I need to take the vaccine. At some point, you're going to have to take the vaccine. They're going to force. It's like forcing it to you, subliminally forcing you to do it.
No, for me, it's for me personally. Like for instance, me going to the hotel was against everything that everybody said. If you didn't watch part 1, I explained that earlier. But to me, the vaccine is going to be eventually. I'm going to want to do something, and the vaccine is going to be the barrier to getting there. And so, therefore,
exactly.
So and also, I will tell you, I talked to my grandmother and my parents. They're all for it because they feel like they're in a dangerous category of people who, if you got COVID, it's almost deadly, guaranteed to be deadly for them, or so horrible they'll be on ventilators, that they're like, I want to take the vaccine.
And think about it, some of your parents and that's the
grandparents, the vaccines,
they're 60, 70, and 80s.
They probably lived through eras where vaccines actually saved people. Where before the vaccine existed, like polio and I can't think of any.
No, they're just scared. No. We have this. No, their issue is if I get COVID, I'm going to die. And it's almost it's not a I can live through it. I might. Their opinion, their mentality, and maybe this is herd mentality or whatever, is I'm in my 60s, 70s, or 80s. I'm going to die if I get COVID.
So they don't want to die. That's
right. This has nothing to do with historic. It's just a general. I'm more likely to live if I take the vaccine. Fear.
Yes. Right. Yeah. They want to live. I want to live. So you better take it so I can live. Yeah. Yeah. But that's
the mentality. That's what I'm saying. And then you're going to have more people with that same mentality. So that provides pressure for you on different angles. That's what I mean.
Oh no, I don't feel no pressure to take it.
So, but that's what society basically is. Pressure from from the majority.
The government want to do something. We'll let the people do our work. The pressure.
So I'm not even. I'm talking about from.
And we're going to let them do it for us. Yep, absolutely.
But I guess I feel like we can't. I don't know. I don't want to be. I'm with Diane. I don't want to be the first group of people to take the vaccine, but I'm also not opposed to taking it eventually. I do think that eventually I probably will take it, mostly because for me, I can live without travel and I'm making small concessions like going to the hotel. I'm not getting on a plane. I'm not doing all these other things. But every time I go see my parents, I got to stab myself in the brain. Right. And I got to wait for the results because I don't want to be responsible for infecting them and they having to get on a ventilator and go through all of that. So if it means that I mean, maybe it is pressure, but I'm okay. I mean, maybe it is bad peer pressure, but at the end of the day, I want my people to be okay. And if this is going to prevent my parents from dying and my grandmother lives a little bit longer, I can be okay with that.
Right.
It's like the mask. I feel like the mask isn't really to protect you, in my understanding. It's to protect the other people in your life.
Oh, it is to protect you too.
I don't think it really does a whole lot to protect you.
The initial push, the initial data was incorrect. Masks protect the wearer as well as the non-wearers. So if everybody wears a mask, then you're much more protected than if no one wears one or if one person wears one. The initial information was that masks only protect other people, but they eventually came out and said yes, and it made more sense. Yes, masks protect you too.
But so, I feel like it's a shifting pieces of every month. It's new information.
It is.
I can't count on the stuff that they tell me. I can only say, okay, you stay over there. I'm gonna stay over here. I'm gonna spray my Lysol when I go to the hotel and just try and be safe.
You know, I started wearing masks doing regular
pieces
stuff
from here and there.
And I started wearing masks doing regular stuff.
I need one of y'all to pick, and only one of y'all go.
Yes, you go.
I was just saying, it made sense to me that a mask protected me and not just someone else, because I breathe in and I breathe out. When I breathe in, the mask is shielding me from the particles in the air. Maybe not that much, but for example, in my own house, I may put a mask on before I clean the cat litter. I don't smell the cat litter when I'm cleaning the cat litter box now because I put the mask on. When I dust my dusty furniture for Thanksgiving, because I don't dust all year, when I dusted it, before, it would give me a headache because it was too much dust. But when I wear my mask, it mitigates the dust from entering my lungs. So when you wear a mask, when you wear a barrier, any kind of barrier, whether it's a mask, a condom, you're preventing something from getting in, and additionally from stuff getting out. So what they told us in the beginning did not make sense. And it's a shame because so many people now can't trust the advice that's coming from up high because they told us so much bullshit in the beginning. But yes, masks protect you both. You can Google that now.
I could have Googled it before. I feel like it, you know what I mean? Like, my point isn't that it's not right, that you're not right. It's that there's just, like, even with the vaccine, I feel like they're going to tell us something now, and then in 3 months, there will be a different story. Did you guys all freeze, or is Shan just very quiet? Oh, Shan's very quiet. So I just feel like it's, I can only be safe. And the vaccine, I won't be in the first group of people. But that's just me. I don't know.
I agree. I would take it because I don't want to die if I do catch it. So the vaccine is supposed to protect you, not just other people. So it protects you so that if you actually catch the disease, your body has an immune response prepared and can fight it off better. That's how vaccines work. So it protects you. So if you have it, you still can't go anywhere, but you might live through it instead of just dying.
But usually for a vaccine, like I said, it's usually tested somewhere to be certified first and then deployed to the public. They're just deploying it to the public. Whichever company makes it, let's just see which one works best. So you're testing in real time instead of having people volunteer for it. And it takes
it's too quick for me.
The thing with COVID is you have different things. Pretty much it was man-made. That's one. Two, it has different things attached to it. So you have to have stuff that can fight each thing that's attached to it. Then it mutates your region, weather, and wherever it's at. So now you have all these problems and issues, and then you're telling me I got to take a vaccine that you just made somewhere in the back of the bodega 2 days ago, and you're going to deploy it to the whole city. Like, it's just wild to me. That's why, like, that first wave or hopefully second wave, I don't want to take it. Because then what? Then when people start dying, are y'all going to give us that information that people are dying from this vaccine, or are you just going to sweep it under the rug?
It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. Oh, it's fine. People are dying. No, it's really fine. It's fine. Everyone should go and take it. Yes. No, you stand a better chance of living. It's going to be like those commercials. Oh yeah, you could suffer hemorrhage. You could, but sure, take it.
Yeah. I don't know.
And what's the side effects? All that stuff. Like, you gotta take it into account. A lot of things with it. I just don't want to take that first.
So all right, Shan. So Shan and Diane and David has been strangely quiet. Rhea, we're not going to ask you because I don't think you believe in the vaccine. So all right, it's 6 months in. They have an acceptable 0.1% people had adverse reactions, but the rest of the 99.9% are okay. 6 months in, would you take it? Like, at what point, what is your threshold of, okay, I'm going to take it?
That sounds cool. I don't know if it has to be that high for me to risk taking it, but and I guess it depends what are the adverse effects. Are we talking as something as simple as, you get a rash, or are you talking about, taking it and immediately keeling over? So I guess it depends on what the side effects could be. If it's mild side effects, because
we do think there's going to be side effects, right?
Is it mild side effects that I can recover from, or take it and you're going blind and I can't feel my left, right side? Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess we need to know all of that.
My pinky toe going to die? Like, I don't need my pinky toe. Sorry.
So I guess
because.
Oh, go ahead. Okay. Oh, well, I was going to say. Oh, okay.
You got it. Go.
Why do we feel, and I guess I know why we have such an adverse fear for you know, the side effects of the vaccine, it almost seems like we kind of expect something terrible to happen to the vast majority of us. And, you know, for the most part, as far as I know, vaccines have been wildly successful. Things like measles have, you know, almost pretty much been eradicated, except for now when people have been, you know, the anti-vax crusade kind of, we had, you know, outbreaks here and there. You know, it was on the verge of being eliminated in the US. So, and, you know, polio is one thing that they've, you know, gotten rid of, smallpox, all that sort of stuff. So, it, you know, for the vast majority of us, it works. But
we
I
don't
guess
trust
it's just,
them. Whoever them
what's
is,
that?
we don't trust them. Like,
But-
get, go ahead, Shan.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't, that's it. I don't trust them. There is no more.
It's a don't trust the government.
But I mean, I
don't
think
trust
it's
the people who make it.
It's too soon. So COVID came out in March. I think we all have read it takes at least a year or two for you to develop the vaccine and do controlled testing of it and certify that it works. But somehow in the course of 8 months, you've been able to develop this thing. And like Shan said, you're not really testing it on a control group. You're testing it on the population and just going to see what happens because we got to go back to work or we got to do this. Like, that's what it feels like. That's why none of us, like, if they had told me we had been in 2 years worth of testing, I might be more amenable to doing it in the first wave. But nobody on the Zoom is like, yeah, let's sign me up. Right? Because usually like, I don't. And then we all see like, yeah, come on, no. I don't know who them is, but I don't trust them. I don't trust you to be open and honest that my pinky toe is going to rot and fall off if I take this. Until there's like mad people on Instagram or Twitter, like, here's a picture of my pinky toe that rotted off after I took the thing. And then I'm like, oh, so now y'all want to tell the truth. Like, I don't know. I don't trust whoever them is. I don't trust you. You, them, no. I said what I said.
Yeah, and then it becomes like most school companies are doing it, and then it becomes a money move because it turns into a contract. So if your company makes it and it looks like it, either if they want it to have the best results, they'll use it. If their intentions is not for the best results, they'll use it. And you can't even give us regular information correctly for regular coronavirus when it started beginning and up to now. How am I supposed to trust your decision on giving a COVID vaccine that you just made 3 days ago? Nah, but I mean, you know, like people got to suffer and somebody's pocket is still getting fat from this altogether. Like, it's not, just don't trust it.
Okay, well. So we'll let Rhea take it.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know what to tell you. I'm just saying, you know, I think I agree with Shan for the most part. Like, you got these large pharmaceutical companies vying for everything, and you know, when they finally do it, it's gonna be like the flu shot. Oh, come to CVS. We've given out this, or we've given out this. Oh, I can go to my doctor. I can get it from here. I can get it from there. But even the flu shot, we're not forced to take it.
Do you guys take the flu shot?
Company has offered a free flu shot every year since I've been working there, which is about 20 years, because our offices were so small. If someone sneezes in that office, the entire place is going down. So they offered a flu shot.
I cannot with her.
I've taken the flu shot at various years, but you know, up until recently, I was young and I wasn't afraid of being sick or dying. So I started taking the flu shot more seriously when a Facebook friend passed away from complications of the flu. He was a young man, just like my age, in his early 40s. And it was just so sad. You know, I didn't know him that well, but he seemed well liked. And you don't seem to hear about people dying from the flu. Maybe old people who are sick in the hospital with pneumonia, but someone who's 30, 40 years old walking around just dropping from the flu, that just seemed crazy.
I've heard
I had not until that point, and it made it more real to me. So I started getting the flu shot. So I had one last year around November, I recall, and I'm overdue for one this year. So, but if I'm at the doctor's office for some other purpose and they happen to say, hey, have you had a flu shot this year? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And they're like, okay, we can give you one now. Will you take it? I always say yes. So my doctor's been slipping lately. You know, I got to get back up to him, you know, and be like, yo, man, you ain't offered me that flu shot this year. So, yeah, I got to get back with him. But yes, I tend to take it. I feel no after effects. I had one bad effect one year where my arm, where they injected it, I developed a lump on my arm that hurt for a few days. And that's the only bad effect I've ever had.
I don't take it. I mean, I don't take it. I hear more stories of people having after effects from the flu shot than I've heard of issues with the actual flu. So I think it depends on, you know, your environment, and I guess. And so I'm just like, I'm just going, I mean, also be clear, I get sick every December. I don't think it's the flu, but I just naturally, when the seasons change or whatever, I generally get sick. I haven't this year because I've been in my house, but I'm not a flu shot person. I don't.
Well, I'm just saying, last year, December, oh my God, I was so sick. Like before all this COVID stuff came out, I felt like I was getting bronchitis because I was wheezing and all this other stuff.
Shit was wild.
I was coughing like crazy. I was in class. They sent me home from work. They were like, yeah, you need to leave here because you over here. I feel sick. Just look at you. I'm like, it was serious. And then, you know, usually I bounce back about 3 days. When I say bounce back, I'm functional. I could still have, you know, myriad of symptoms, but you know, I'm functional. But I mean, when I tell you I was up and down, all the issues of COVID, you know what I mean? Up and down, up and down, up and down. Breathing was labored and everything. It was nuts. And this is way before I went to the Medi Center, and they were like, this doesn't so. Have you followed up? I was like, no. I was like, that's why I came here, because I didn't know what the deal was, whatever. She was like, this is weird.
Yeah, a lot of people did that. Went to the hospital. They just like, I forgot what they called it, but they pretty much didn't have no term for what was going on. It wasn't the flu. So
that happened to me. And
take this random shit. I'm gonna reach for the cabinet and go home.
Yeah, they was just like, you sick. I can't do nothing for you. Don't. Here it says, go get you some.
We gonna mark this down as a question mark. We don't need you in here.
Don't
take your ass.
And there were several of us that were at the job, and we were sick. And I mean, you know, what you call, that was before masks, and I was coughing, and you know, I'm elbow person, you know, and trying not to cough on everybody, snotting and everything. It was horrible. And then it felt like I didn't take my temperature, but I could feel waves of being hot and cold, and you know. And I'm not talking about like, you know, female issue, hot and cold. I'm talking about like breaking out.
Waking up hot as shit.
Yeah, like waking up, you know, sweating and shivering and stuff. And then, you know, and then just being exhausted, you know. And this went on for like I want to say up and down for a good like 2 weeks.
I don't know. Do you think you had COVID?
I have no idea.
I went through that for like a week.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't say all the symptoms were there.
Because I feel like I had it.
Yeah, because everybody in my job got sick. Everybody in my job, like it went through. Like I've been in my job where somebody had the flu, everybody gets sick, you know. But it's like this, like one person was sick, like that shit just went across the whole work area quick. And when I say people who don't call out. Motherfuckers calling out for a whole week. Like, man, I can't get up. I can't do it.
Yes.
I was tired of shit.
Yes.
I couldn't breathe.
Yes.
That's what's hurting. Then when I cough, I couldn't stop my own coughing. Like that shit would just keep running. Like I was getting annoyed that I was coughing so much.
Yes.
And it just, like you said, that being tired, I'm kind of energetic, active. I was tired of shit. Like, nah, I can't. I could barely call out, so I'm gonna just make this the next 3 or 4 days. I'm gonna call out, just write that down.
Yeah,
like this shit was crazy. And the thing that I found, like one thing me and my coworker said that I just had to put no racism out there. Like from where I work at, you would see like the Asians heavily started wearing masks. Like I was like before it really was crazy here, you would see them like either they come here or they would leave and go back and like have their mask on and masked up. Like I know like in Japan they do that and they do it with their fashion and stuff. But it was like real crazy. And then like a lot of people who went like to Asian countries, they would peep like why are they all wearing their masks? Some of them had gloves on. But it wasn't like nothing well known, but you would just see them with it on, like here and over there. And this shit was just weird. Then after COVID, it was like that sounds kind of weird. Now
They always had a culture about wearing masks because they were sick. So it's nothing new for them. They went
through SARS and swine flu. Well, not swine flu, but yeah, they went through a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but even after that, like even after the period, they went back. Most of them went back to their normal.
No, but I feel like once you let me be clear.
Without the mask,
we've gone through this.
But they was getting it back to back.
Right, but like, okay, so we get past COVID, blah blah blah. Be clear. I know I'm good for going to work sick. Good for it. I'm gonna sit here and cough in my desk and take my Dayquil and go. I know you can't go to work sick ever again after this. I know that if you sneeze or cough or look wrong, you better go ahead and use that sick day because you can't come here. Like life is different. I am probably always going to have a mask or something just in case. Like I don't see us coming back from this. It's never going to be the same. I'm never going to trust that your cough is not going to cause me some kind of problem. Like before I'd be like, oh yeah, I got sick. She got sick. It just was the nature of we work in the same office and it happens. Nah.
Which is a good thing actually. And this is a whole different conversation, but definitely how we here in the US treat illness and the idea of work being the most important thing ever. And some of us are fortunate that we have this the number of sick days that we can use to if you feel sick, take off. But a lot of people, and usually for the people who can least afford it for themselves or to infect other people, like if people in food industry and the medical industry and stuff who tend to have maybe like 3 or 4 sick days or something like that, who can least afford it, they're the ones who gonna be who can least afford it, they're the ones who can infect the most people. So hopefully things will change. But hopefully things will change. But we're coming from privileged positions, a lot of us. So
yeah. So I think we've covered all we have on this topic. So I didn't do the intro, but we know who we are. You'll see another video.
You can do this separate.
I'll do it another time. So anyway, thank you for listening. Make sure you click the subscribe button and like, and tell us about if you think you're going to take the vaccine. Do you believe in masks? You think it's all a hoax and we should just be all out here in these COVID infested streets, infected people, and it's okay. And it turns into
Florida and Atlanta.
And then I chop off your head. That escalated very quickly. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a good day.
See you.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, click like and
subscribe. Turn on the notifications.
Turn on notifications and leave a comment if you like this video. Thank you for watching.